Hello, everybody. Hello, world. Welcome to another episode of I'm Reviewing Here, a podcast where I, Matthew Bussey, watch and review science sounds top greatest movies of all time. I have got a sore on the back of my tongue, and it hurts like a mother, and I don't know why I'm doing this podcast right now, late at night on a Wednesday night. But anyway, the show must go on. Wow, so this is coming out April 16th, and I will officially be 17 years old when this episode comes out. Yeah, my birthday was yesterday, and I'm recording this way in advance before my birthday, so I have no idea how I'm going to feel when my birthday actually comes. But I used to get so stressed out about my birthday and age, and I don't really care anymore. I mean, I do care a little bit, obviously, but I have a lot of great years ahead of me. I'm not even 21 yet, so I mean, 17 is a big number, and yeah, I have to, and I have class tomorrow, so I have to get to bed soon. But I'm also losing my mind. Sorry, that's a bad segue, but I am losing my mind. I recorded an episode yesterday, and I used GarageBand to record, and I exported the episode. And when I export on my computer, it automatically saves it to music, aka iTunes. It's not called that anymore, apparently, RIP. But yesterday, quick story. Yesterday, I exported the episode, and then I went to music, to listen to it, and my voice was so low. My voice was, "Hi, welcome to another episode." You know Home Alone 2 when Kevin talks in the talk boy, and it's like, "I'd like a hotel, please." It was that, and I was so excited because I was like, well, this is going to be great for the next episode. I can play that. I just went to play it. My voice is normal. What the friggity fuck? Life is so disappointing. Yeah. I have no words. Am I really losing my mind? I think I am. Ow, my tongue hurts. Oh, God. Anyway, okay. Well, today, my friends, I'm going to talk about a very, very famous romantic film. Well, is it really famous? I don't really know. I don't think so, but I'm also not a big literary head, and this is based on a book by a very famous author. It's an American-made movie. It came out in 1948. It is black and white. It is a film called Letter from an Unknown Woman.
By the time you read this letter, I may be dead. I have so much to tell you, and perhaps very little time. Will I ever send it? I don't know. I must find the strength to write now before it's too late. And as I write, it may become clear that what happened to us had its own reason beyond our poor understanding. If this reaches you, you will know how I became yours when you didn't know who I was.
I've seen you somewhere. I know. I followed you upstairs and watched you in your box. Is there any place we could have met that I might have seen you? At one of my concerts. It must have been some time ago.
If this letter reaches you, believe this, that I love you now as I've always loved you. My life can be measured by the moments I've had with you. If only you could have shared those moments.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Letter from an Unknown Woman. I love this movie. I really loved it. I really loved it. Yeah, it's this sore in the back of my tongue is going to make me sound Californian, but oh my God, yeah, Letter from an Unknown Woman. I knew nothing about it going in, I didn't see it in a theater, but you know what I mean. I didn't know anything about it. I did a little bit of research before the movie. Now when I say that, I did not read spoilers or anything like that. God, I never do that. Come on, that would be like in Legally Blonde when Ali Larter is a fitness coach and she confesses that she got liposuction. That would be like me reading spoilers. Of course I don't do that. And I don't kill my husband either. Or she doesn't actually do it. You know what I mean. I keep saying you know what I mean. Okay. I was really delighted by this film. I was very delighted by it. I think what I really liked about it was, it has the look and feel of an old school Hollywood romantic black and white film. You have boy meets girl. They're both attractive. They smooch a lot, and it's like old school smooching, so they don't even kiss. They just rub their mouths against each other, and they're always covering the camera. You know how I feel about this kissing. It drives me up a wall. But I get it. I know they couldn't show any tongue or any actual kissing, because then the movie would get illegal. I think what really kind of stunned me about Letter from an Unknown Woman was, well, many things. It was very well done. Just a good, solid movie with a great script. A very sad movie overall. Gorgeous to look at. Very, very gorgeous to look at. Great shots. The director, his name is Max Ophüls, I think is how you say his name. I've recognized his name so much. He was a very famous German director. He did a movie called Le Plaisir. He did another movie called The Earrings of Madame Deux. And this is the first movie I saw by him. And I really hope that there are more of his films on this list. Yeah, he impressed me with this film. And, I did some research too. And, this guy really influenced a lot of directors we know and love today. I'll get into more of like the shots and a lot of that later. But I think overall what I really liked about this movie, I was going to say this and I got distracted, but it has the look of a Hollywood romance, but there's something just a little bit different about it. It's kind of a very feminist look at romance. It's a realistic look at romance. It's a bleak romance, but I like how it's not all sugar-coated and sweet. I like how I like the direction it goes. It's not really the happiest movie, and I don't mean to, what do they say? Burst your hole? What's it called? Burst your bubble. It's not. You're not going to be depressed when watching this movie. I can guarantee you that, but it's different. It's got a very different feel to it. It's a movie about how love is, at least the first time you fall in love with someone, it can be really toxic when you don't even know it, And I think it's also not really like a warning to women, but I think it's kind of just a warning in general that men suck. Like, men can be chauvinistic pigs, and even though they're really charming, and maybe they're good people deep down, they can be really charming, that is, they are severely flawed people. And this movie came out in 1948. Look, we've seen a lot. I'm sure you've seen a lot of old school romances, and I'm not saying that they're toxic, a lot of them, but I feel like a lot of them, you rewatch them and you just go, oh God, I don't know if this would maybe go well in 2024, but nothing goes well nothing goes well ever anymore. Let's all be real. Come on. You do one thing and everybody's like, cancel it. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that route. I didn't mean to open up that door down that route, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Letter from an Unknown Woman, overall, I loved it. I was pleasantly surprised. It's another example of how giddy I get when a movie I have never heard of, didn't know anything about, really astounded me in its beauty.
Plots and ups.
Letter from an Unknown Woman is based on a book by Stefan Zweig. Stefan Zweig was an Austrian writer. He was very, very famous. He was very famous. That's all I know. I haven't read any of his books, but yeah, I recognize his name, Stefan Zweig. Also, you're going to hear the name Stefan a lot because the lead character in this film is also one of the leads is also named Stefan. Some people say Stefan. I do not say that. I pronounce it as Stefan. I can't even remember in the movie if they pronounce his name as Stefan or Stefan. It's Stefan. Okay. I'm right. You're wrong. It's Stefan. No, you say however you want. I also really am tempted to say Stefan because I used to babysit a German boy when I was younger and his name was Stefan. It was not Stefan or Stefan, it was Stefan. That's so badass. Yeah, but this is based on a book by Stefan Zweig. It was adapted for the screen by the screenwriter named Howard Koch, who was later blacklisted during the scare. What was it called? One of the scares. There were so many scares in the world. House of Un-American Activities Committee, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's kind of sad. He was one of many who was blacklisted because he was accused of being a communist or having ties to the Communist Party. But there are no communists in this film. Let's get started. It's the early 20th century in Vienna. We see a man named Stefan Brand returns home. He is due to duel, I can never say this word, don't laugh, duel, D-U-E-L, duel, against an opponent the next morning, but plans to skip town and avoid it. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Stefan Brand is played by this actor named Louis Jourdan. He was pretty good for playing like villains. He was in an Alfred Hitchcock movie. He was in Octopussy, that James Bond movie, which I haven't seen. But yeah, he's this older, handsome, very suave, very French guy. His mute butler hands him a letter addressed to him by a woman who claims that she may be dead by the time he receives it. So Stefan begins reading. Many years earlier, Lisa, a teenager living in an apartment building, becomes infatuated with Stefan, a new tenant and concert pianist at the same time. Lisa is played by the one and only Joan Fontaine. Yeah, she lived to be 96 years old. She was in, I mainly remember her from Rebecca and Suspicion, two Hitchcock films. But she is most famous for being sisters with Olivia de Havilland, and they did not like each other. Oh no. But this is not a scandal podcast. I'm not going to go down that route. I keep saying down that route, and I'm very sorry. So, Lisa, she's a teenage girl. Now, don't laugh. She's supposed to be a teenager, but Lisa very clearly is like 30, 35, because Joan Fontaine was that old when they filmed these scenes. But suspension of disbelief. Lisa stays up late to hear Stefan practicing, sneaks into his apartment while he is out, admires him from a distance, and seeks to dress better and act gracefully in the hope of becoming worthy of his attentions. Despite her actions, they only meet once, and Stefan takes little notice of her. So she's sick in love, like totally enamored by this guy. One day, Lisa's mother announces her marriage to a wealthy and respectable gentleman who lives in Linz, which is in Austria, and tells Lisa that they will all move there. Lisa resists her mother's plans and runs away from the railway station and goes back to the apartment where she's let in by the porter. She knocks on Stefan's door, but no one answers. She decides to wait outside for him to return. Early the next morning, Stefan returns home with another woman. Aww. After seeing the two, a distraught Lisa returns to Linz, joining her mother and new stepfather. I hope I'm saying it right. Linz? I don't know. Lindsay Lohan. A short time later, Lisa is courted by a young military officer from a good family. He eventually proposes to Lisa, but she turns him down, lying that she is engaged to be married to someone else living in Vienna. Yeah, she is in love. This is what loves us to people, most people. Returning to Vienna, Lisa works as a dress model, waiting outside Stefan's window every night. One night, he notices her, and although he does not recognize her, finds himself strangely drawn to her. They go on a long romantic date that ends with their making love. Soon after, Stefan leaves for a concert in Milan, prompting to return within 2 weeks. But he never does. Scumbag. I need a moment. Lisa eventually gives birth to their child, never trying to contact Stefan, wanting to be the one woman, quote, you had known who asked you for nothing. Ooh, burn. 10 years later, Lisa is now married to an older general named Johann, who knows about her past love for Stefan, after whom she named her son. Johann is played by this actor named Marcel Journet. Journet. Oh, what does that mean in French? I forget. Don't know the actor. Tickle. Okay. One day we're at the opera, Lisa sees Stefan, who is no longer a top-billed musician and rarely performs. Feeling uneasy, she leaves during the performance. He sees her leave and follows her, meeting her while she's waiting for her carriage. Stefan explains that he can't quite place her, but feels they must have met before. Dude, how do you not remember her? God damn it. Lisa is still uncomfortable with this, not wanting to anger her husband, and when her carriage arrives, she is met by a clearly vexed Johann. So he's a piece of shit, and he's just a jealous husband. You know, they all were. A few nights later, and against Johann's express wishes, Lisa travels to Stefan's apartment and he's delighted to see her. Despite a seemingly illuminating conversation about Stefan's past life and his motivations for giving up music, Stefan still does not remember who Lisa really is. Distraught and realizing that Stefan never loved her despite her undying love for him, Lisa leaves. On her way out, she meets the servant and the two exchange a long glance. This is a great moment. Yeah, the servant recognizes her from earlier. But her lover, or the lover in her point of view, does not know her still. Kind of like in a Cinderella story when Cinderella, Sam is wearing, like a 2-inch mask, and then Austin Ames is like, I don't know who you are. Yeah, but I like a girl. It's like she's wearing a mask. The dumbest character in the history of cinema. Anyway, sometime later, after her son dies of typhus, yeah, that's sad, Lisa, is taken to a hospital and is gravely ill herself. She writes a letter to Stefan explaining her life, her son, and her feelings toward Stefan. This is the letter that narrates the whole film. Yeah, so I forgot to say that. There's narration throughout the film, but it's obviously her. It's Stefan reading the letter that Lisa sent to him. Upon finishing the letter, the shocked Stefan, alliteration, finally recalls the 3 times they had met and how he failed to recall her. Did you remember her? He asks his butler, who nods and writes down her full name, Lisa Berndl. Still in shock, Stefan leaves his building and sees the ghostly image of a teenage Lisa open the door for him, a memory of their first encounter. Great moment. He enters the carriage waiting to take him to meet his dueling opponent, Johann, and rides away. Yeah. See how it all came together? Johann and Stefan. The end.
Thank you, John. I'll be home late. You needn't wait up for me. Thank you. Good morning.
Though I was not able to go to your concerts, I found ways of sharing in your success. And as the months went by, I began to know your friends. Many of them were women. Most of them.
She says Stefan, so his name is Stefan in the movie. Or did I mishear that? No, I think I heard it right. Okay, so I've been saying his name wrong this entire goddamn episode. God damn it. Man, Letter from an Unknown Woman, man. I think this is just a great example of a great script. I fell for it. I was so involved with Lisa as a character. I was even really involved with Stefan, there I said it, as a character too. You see, Stefan is not like a villain in this film. He is just so self-involved and narcissistic without even knowing it, because he's a ladies' man. He knows what it's like to get laid all the time, and he's someone who obviously does not know what love is. And I really love his character arc in the film. It's cheesy, sometimes movies can be cheesy when the structure is like just one big flashback, and like the present is just somebody reading something that is all a flashback. We've seen that done in movies before. I don't always love that. But, I can't think of any other way, though, for Stefan to get his, character arc besides that. And it's part of the movie. I mean, it's part of the story. It's the main part. It's called Letter from an Unknown Woman, for crying out loud. I mean, it's... So, they have to do that. But, yeah, I also have not seen Max Ophuls' other films, but I did read that, he doesn't really like to make, he didn't like to make traditional romantic stories. He did kind of like to make them a little sad, a little realistically sad. And there are so many moments in this film with the cinematography that really kind of foreshadow this doomed romance. The cinematography too, I'd need to call out Franz Planer, Planer. There are so many shots in this that are so magnificent. Like when Lisa is spying on Stefan, and they first meet. He doesn't remember this, obviously. It's like the early morning, but she opens up the door for him. And the door, she's like kind of like cornered into this side of the threshold. And it's like there is this door literally separating them. And that's when he says, hello, good morning, thank you, hello, whatever. And that image right there is symbolic of their relationship. It's like they can't ever really be together. There's always going to be some invisible force blocking them, And there's a lot of that in the film. I feel like, there's this other great moment where they go on this, they go to like this, it looks like Central Park. They go like in this little park at night, and they go into this ride where it's like they're sitting in this train carriage, whatever, and there is this fake setting out the window that is like, it's kind of like a carnival. It's like it's moving, and it's all fake though. It's all simulated, but it looks like they're actually living happily ever after, riding off into the countryside, but it's all fake, it's all fabricated. That's a big theme in this movie. Everything is very, very, this love that Lisa believes in so much is really not real. And it's heartbreaking, but it's true, it's a very doomed love story. But again, it's not like a frustrating movie to watch, really. I don't think so. It's not, because I say that because, Stefan does not treat her nicely, but he doesn't know he's not treating her nicely. He's not like, I don't think he's a bad guy. I may get shit for saying that, but I don't think he is in this film. Also, this is a fictional film, so I don't, like, chillax. But if you do happen to watch this and you totally disagree with me, it's okay. But, yeah, I was very moved by this movie. I wouldn't call it like a tearjerker, but very moved. I mean, look, we also have to give credit to Joan Fontaine, who was one of the greatest actresses ever. And of course, Louis Jourdan, who I did not know very well at all, really. But, all around, just a good, great, old-fashioned romance. BTS Secrets and Scandals! Not too much here with this movie. Just a few things I found. Well, disappointingly, the book is meant to have a lot more sex. S-E-X, sex. Say X 10 times really fast. X. Yeah, people fall for that sometimes. They're idiots. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad about that, of course. This is 1948 we're talking about, so of course they could not do that. Louis Jourdan, I liked reading about him. He had actually been a part of the French resistance during the Second World War with his family after his father got arrested by the Gestapo. He later escaped, thank God. Jourdan ended up marrying his childhood sweetheart, and they were together until her death in 2014. He died 1 year later. What a life. To stay with one person all that time throughout the 20th century. 20th century, yeah, not 21st century. Well, and the 21st century. Sorry, I don't do well with centuries. Yeah, that's great. You look at a lot of actors back then, they were married 50 times. In the film, Lisa is at least several years younger than Stefan. Shit. In reality, Joan Fontaine was actually older than Louis Jourdan. I did not notice that. Ophuls, Max Ophuls, the director, loved having his female characters' names start with an L. Okay. I don't know why he was into that, but I don't really have a favorite letter, but I guess people do. My least favorite letter is R, because listen to me every episode of this goddamn podcast. I cannot pronounce my R's. In the original story, the main male character is not a pianist, but an unnamed writer who is referenced as R. R as in Roman Schriftsteller, which means novel writer in German. In the movie, however, his first name is Stefan, the same as the writer of the original story, Stefan Zweig. Yeah, so I like that. It's a little nod to the author. The film was adapted from the original Zweig novella. It was actually a novella, I'm sorry, by Howard Koch, as I said. He is mostly faithful to the book, though featuring minor differences. The most noted divergence is a structural change. There is no duel in the original story, nor is there a character such as Johann. The unknown woman from the book never marries, but lives off a series of lovers who remain unnamed and mostly unobtrusive. Damn! Yes. How do I feel about that? I don't really care. Yeah. Sometimes in movies you do have to add things. I usually hate when they change so much from a book that I really liked, but in this case I haven't read the book, so I got no comment. That's a lie. I mean, I think if they had stuck closer to the book, it may have been a lot more poetic and artsy-fartsy, and sometimes that does not work for me. Sometimes it does. I don't know if it would have worked in this case. Maybe so, but then maybe the critics wouldn't have liked it so much. I do not know.
The best moment!
I explained it, but the scene when they go on the fake train and there's the fake, outside going by them, because it's all fake, it's all fake. And it signifies their love. It's also just a really cool moment. I really liked it. I guess also the scene at the end where Stefan is like, oh, and he remembers who Lisa was, and we get that really beautiful montage of the memories he has of her that are flooding back to her mind. It's really great editing, really great filmmaking overall.
Mais est-ce que je suis d'accord avec les critiques de ce film?
I did not find a ton of reviews for this film, but I did find a few that were very good. Josh Larson of Larson on Film called Letter from an Unknown Woman is a women's picture that nonetheless turns on male chauvinism. Yeah, you see, that's what I liked. Turns on male chauvinism. It really does. It really is a movie that does have a very feminist feel to it. Lisa's not an idiot in the film, She knows and believes in this love so much, but she's not dumb. She just wants to make it work, It's like you feel for her just wanting to grab Stefan and just shake him and just go, like, come on, like, don't you remember me? Didn't we have a great time that one night in bed, Like, come on. Anthony Quinn of Independent UK called the movie a weepy like they don't make them like any... It's a weepy, like they don't make them like anymore. What is with all the likes? That's not really accurate. I didn't really find this to be a weepy, but I did like that quote because weepy's a fun word to say. John Fortgang of Film 4 called it an atmospheric and unsettling mix of European style and Hollywood muscle. Yes, I agree. This is a beautifully shot and thought-provoking film about lost love. Yes, encore. I agree. Wesley Morris from the San Francisco Examiner said, beneath the film's beauty lies the type of love that obsessed fools, the unsuccessful kind. Again, it is bleak, but you know what? A lot of people like me are really into movies about bleak romance and bleak things. Not all the time, but, sometimes.
Is it really one of the best movies of all time?
Yes. Yes, I think so. I think it's just a timeless movie. Timeless love story. We all love stories. This one, I won't repeat myself, but I'm about to because I always say I'm not going to, and then I do when I do this podcast, and I talk ad nauseum about stuff that I forget that I've already said. It kind of takes the love genre, it takes the love, setup, and it plays with it a little bit, It plays with cinematography to convey this doomed romance, but it also, I think, just in general, takes that setup and twists it a little bit, and kind of makes it into its own unique, original thing. And that's all I have to say about this movie. Check it out. Definitely check it out. By the time this episode comes out, it will hopefully still be on the Criterion channel. But if it's not, call your senators and have them put it on Hulu or Disney Plus or wherever you stream stuff. Or better yet, have them send it to your local movie theater. I should have said that first. I am getting my words mixed up right now. It is really late right now, too. Thank you all for tuning into this episode. I will catch you next time. Happy birthday if it's your birthday today. I got nothing else to end with? Well, I will end with this. Get your ass off the couch and go to the goddamn movies, okay? I don't care if you have a sore behind your tongue. Stop by CVS or Rite Aid on the way there and get some tongue-numbing ointment liquid, okay? And put it on. I have some in my bathroom right now. It expired like a year ago, but I still use it and it helps, okay? Do that. Just go to the movies. Support your goddamn local cinema, okay? I don't want to have this conversation anymore with you, okay? Just shut up and do it for me. I will stop stuttering, and do I stutter? I don't stutter. I will stop spitting. I do spit when I do this podcast if you do this one thing for me. Okay, thank you all. Thank you so much. Go to the movies. Okay, bye. Bye. Go to the movies.
Oh, you made it. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of I'm Reviewing Here. New episodes drop Tuesdays and Fridays. You can get this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at I'm Reviewing Here. You can also subscribe on YouTube. New episodes drop there the same day they drop on the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Please leave a review if you'd like. Be mean, be nice, hit on me. I don't really care. Candor really, really is important to me, and, it helps the podcast too. So I really hope you enjoyed it. This podcast is brought to you especially by Nervous Chuckles. That is my fake production company because I make people nervously chuckle all the time because they never know if I'm telling a joke or not. So they're always like, do I laugh? Do I not laugh? Is he serious? Is he insane? Did he get out of the loony? What's going on? So if I made you nervously chuckle, then that means that I did my job, and thank you. There is no funding for this podcast, but if you want to give me money, then, hit me up. DM me. Bye-bye.